They were more than just beautiful faces. In the 1970s, these women were goddesses of the silver screen, icons of television, and the heartbeats of an entire generation. Posters of them adorned bedroom walls, their smiles sold millions of magazines, and their names were whispered with admiration. But the disco lights have long since dimmed, and the glitz of the era is now just a memory. What happened to these unforgettable women? How have they changed over the decades? Buckle up, because Hollywood Star News is taking you on a captivating journey to find out where the women who once ruled the 70s are today. You won't want to miss this. Let's begin with Raquel Welch, who wasn't just a star, she was the star. That iconic image of her in a fur bikini in 1 million years BC didn't just define her, it defined an entire era. Every director wanted her, every man desired her. Every woman wanted to be her, but Raquel's rise was far from overnight. She started modestly as a spokesmodel on Hollywood Palace and with a minor role in Elvis Presley's Roustabout. Then came the double hit of Fantastic Voyage and 1 Million Years BC in 1966, which catapulted her into superstardom despite barely having lines. Her look said it all. She went on to challenge conventions with roles in 100 Rifles Sharing, Hollywood's first major interracial love scene, and delivered an award-winning performance in The Three Musketeers. In The Bold Myra Breckinridge, she played a transgender character, decades ahead of its time. Welch aged into her legend gracefully. From sitcom appearances in Date My Dad to a standout role in Legally Blonde, and even launching a beauty empire, Raquel stayed relevant for decades. She passed away in 2023 at 82, but her legacy? Timeless. Next, the dazzling Farrah Fawcett, twin name that lit up American households like no other. Her smile, her golden hair, and that red swimsuit poster made her a global obsession. But Farrah wasn't just a pretty face. She wanted more. Born in Texas and voted one of the most beautiful co-eds in the US, Farrah was discovered by a Hollywood publicist and quickly transitioned from commercials to stardom. She became America's sweetheart overnight with her role as Jill Monroe in Charlie's Angels. Her iconic poster sold over 12 million copies, redefining the sex symbol for a new generation. Yet, Fawcett sought respect as a serious actress, and she earned it with gut-wrenching performances in The Burning Bed and Small Sacrifices, earning Emmy and Golden Globe nods. In her final years, she battled cancer publicly and courageously, documenting her fight in the emotional film Farrah's Story. She passed in 2009, at just 62, remembered not just for her beauty but for her resilience and strength. From movie screens to music charts, Olivia Newton-John enchanted the world with grace. Her performance as Sandy in Grease made her a pop culture legend. But behind the pink cardigan and dreamy ballads was one of the best-selling female artists of all time. 100 million records sold. Songs like Physical and I Honestly Love You dominated the charts, and she earned for Grammys and global accolades, including Dane Commander of the British Empire. But perhaps Olivia's most inspiring legacy wasn't musical, it was her fight against cancer. Diagnosed in 1992 and again in 2013 and 2017. She became a tireless advocate for research and wellness, opening the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Wellness and Research Center. She passed away in 2022 at 73, her music and courage echoing on. Elegant, intelligent, unforgettable, Jane Seymour embodied classic beauty and talent. Born Joyce Penelope Wilhelmina Frankenberg, she first caught attention as a Bond girl in Live and Let Die. But Jane wasn't content to be just another pretty face. Her role in The Wanted in Line and an Emmy-nominated turn in Captains and the Kings earned her early respect. The 80s brought more acclaim: Golden Globes, Emmys, and finally, household status through Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. She continued to wow audiences in romantic classics like Somewhere in Time, comedies like Wedding Crashers, and Family Fare, like The War with Grandpa, Outside Acting, Seymour Paints, Designs, and Writes, all while managing her Open Hearts Foundation. Now in her 70s, she still glows with the same poise that made her a crush for an entire generation. Goldie Hawn wasn't just the girl with the infectious laugh. She was an unstoppable force. from her early days on Laugh-In to winning an Oscar in Cactus Flower, Goldie turned her quirky charm into box office gold. She lit up films like Private Benjamin, which she also produced, showcasing her brilliance behind the camera too. Her real-life romance with Kurt Russell began on the set of Swing Shift in the 80s, and decades later, they're still going strong, one of Hollywood's rare lasting love stories. Now, in her late 70s, Goldie is still dancing, still smiling, and still as vibrant as ever. And how could we not talk about Cher? The woman who's rewriting the rules of reinvention again and again. Starting as half of Sonny and Cher, she quickly evolved into a solo artist with powerhouse vocals, delivering hits like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. And If I Could Turn Back Time, Cher conquered Broadway, won an Oscar for Moonstruck, and has owned Las Vegas with dazzling residencies. Her movie roles from Silkwood to Burlesque proved she was no one-hit wonder. Now in her late 70s, with 2 grown children and a mountain of accolades, Cher remains fierce, fashionable, and fearless. Morgan Fairchild might have started behind the scene standing in for Faye Dunaway and Jane Fonda, but soon, she was the face of 70s and 80s primetime. Falcon Crest, Flamingo Road, Dallas, her style and sass became her signature. But Morgan wasn't all glamour. She had a love for paleontology, of all things. Even today, at 75, she's still sharp, still stylish, and still making appearances. A woman of substance, brains, and timeless charm. RANCES. A woman of substance, brains, and timeless charm. **** Born into Hollywood royalty, Candice Bergen became a sim. A woman of substance, brains, and timeless charm. ***** Born into Hollywood royalty, Candice Bergen became a sim. Born into Hollywood royalty, Candice Bergen became a symbol of poise and intellect. She carved her path through powerful performances in Murphy Brown, winning Emmys and shattering stereotypes. She picked up photography, wrote books, and continued acting well into her 70s in shows like Boston Legal and films like Book Club. Her beauty matured into wit and wisdom, proof that elegance never fades. Jacqueline Smith was more than just 1/3 of Charlie's Angels. She was the angel with staying power, the only original star to stay through all 5 seasons. Her grace and calm charisma made her a fan favorite. She later shone in roles like Jackie Kennedy and built a fashion empire that still thrives today. Even at 78, Jacqueline remains the picture of timeless sophistication. Sally Field started as America's sweetheart in Gidget and the Flying Nun, but in the 70s, she demanded to be taken seriously and succeeded. Sybil and Norma Ray changed everything, earning her an Oscar, with 2 Academy Awards, Emmys, and a career that spans 6 decades. Sally Field is proof that determination and talent go hand in hand. And finally, Stevie Nicks, the mystical enchantress of rock and roll. With her raspy voice and poetic lyrics, she gave soul to Fleetwood Mac and stood tall on her own. Hits like Edge of 17 and Stand Back defined a generation. She survived addiction, heartbreak, and the wild ride of fame, emerging wiser, stronger, and still spellbinding on stage today. These women weren't just stars, they were trailblazers. They defined a decade, redefined success, and continue to inspire millions. Their stories remind us that fame fades, but impact lasts forever. If you grew up loving these legends or discovered them later in life, hit that like button, subscribe to Hollywood Star News, and let us know in the comments who was your favorite 70s icon? And who do you want us to feature next? Until next time, keep celebrating the stars who paved the way.